So now I will explain the materials that you need to buy for the models. Reminder, the project worksheet you have here. The materials that we used for the drawings, and underneath the materials for the model, okay, for the two models. After the class, I'm explaining now, sit. After the class come. So, for the models, you will find the materials here. Today I brought the materials here to actually, so that you can see what they look like, okay? So, you will need some general materials that everybody should have by now. For example, cutter, okay? Cutting board, okay, because you will have a lot of things to cut. So the cutting board must be with you. So you must have this. Cutter, as I said, everyone should have by now. Masking tape, not this one, maybe the other, the white, smaller tape, it's better quality. But you should have a type of tape with you, could be very useful for later, I will show you. Okay, you need acrylic color white. Now this tube is a big tube, it's big size. Sometimes they sell long tubes with less material. You don't really need a whole tube for a small model of a mouse. You can buy smaller tubes or boxes of this. But it must be acrylic, very important, acrylic, because the acrylic is plastic-based, okay? Plastic-based. You cannot use any type of, basically, material on the foam, okay? You cannot use that. So it must be acrylic, very important, and white. This wood glue, I would advise you for now, don't buy it. You need it only when you have two pieces of foam that you need to glue together. You cannot use on the foam Yoo-hoo or any other glue. Some glues dissolve the foam, destroy the foam, okay? So only the wood glue, which is called ghira in Arabic, okay? Yes, but for now you don't really need it, okay? You may need it, but because the mouse is a small model, you may not require to actually glue pieces on it, okay? So keep this for now as maybe, maybe not, we will need it. You definitely need carbon paper, yellow, okay? The yellow, there is black and yellow. Please buy the yellow one. One sheet should be enough, okay? If you want, buy two just in case. Tracing paper, you will need some tracing paper, okay, that you will use in the model. So just have with you a sheet or two. You will need 3 types of sandpaper. Now don't worry if you don't know what these are for. I will explain later, okay? But for now you need to buy the materials, later the explanation of how to use. So 3 types of sandpaper. I will also make a photo of these and put on e-learning, just in case. Now, sandpaper come with different roughness. Some are very rough, and we have some medium type, and we have very soft, okay? So we need the 3 types. The rough, which come with a number here at the back, P60, okay? The medium come with P150, and the soft, the fine paper can P400, okay? Now, if you have 2 sheets of each, it's more than enough, because as I said, the mouse is a small model, but just to have extra, not to have to go and buy again, okay? You will also need, everybody has ruler, okay? So 1 ruler you will need, okay? This kind of item, but it's very important to be the smooth type. Now, how do you know if it's the one I want? If it has there is here a number on it, okay? A size. Because some of these, this is, what do you call this, for the cutting, okay? Some of them come with, these are very far apart, so they're very rough. If you use this on, let's say, a foam, on the foam, and it's not the fine knife, you will end up with a very bad quality. So it must be very fine. And to make sure it's the correct one, I will make a photo close up of this number. Okay, it's very important. Now, we have several options. Some would say, okay, why I can't use, for example, this, okay? And I'm telling you, don't use it. Because, first of all, you cannot find the very fine one. Secondly, the quality is very bad, and the design, every time you want to use it, you have to hold it from here. You have to, it keeps falling with you. It's not the greatest design, okay? This, on the other hand, you don't need anything else. You don't even need a handle. You don't need a handle. It's very safe. Look, I can put my finger here. Nothing happened, okay? And you can cut with it in this way. I will show you next class. So you just need one piece like this without any handles, without complicated piece, okay? You need also to buy foam, which here is, the name is XPS polystyrene blue. And you will know it's the correct one because it is blue in color. Do not buy the white one, the blue, because the blue has a very fine texture, okay? And it comes in two different sizes, 2.5 centimeter and 5 centimeter. We need the 5 centimeter, okay? Because the height of the mouse, okay, the height of the mouse is more than 2.5 centimeters. So do not buy the thin one, the 5, okay? Now, these sheets come in big sizes, big ones. You don't really need this much size for a small mouse. So if you have a friend, you can buy, for example, one sheet and divide it, cut it in half for you and half for your friend, and divide the money, okay, in between, because it's too big for this model. The same with the cardboard. The cardboard that you will buy for this model, they also come in big sheets. Now, how much you will need, I don't know, because you will have to draw each of these pieces alone, but you don't really need this big of a sheet. Maybe half of it is totally enough for the mouse, okay? So again, you can divide it, buy one sheet, divide it between your friends, okay? Just to save some money for the materials. So, the cardboard piece, by the way, should be white, very important, and 2 millimeter thick, okay? Now, what type it is? There is several types of cardboard. I don't really care which type, as long as it is white and 2 millimeter. But be careful, because some of them are not good quality. So this one is the best quality. I don't know exactly what it's called as a name. If you want, you can come and touch it later, these pieces, to get a feel, because it has a rough surface on it. Maybe it's arch, I'm not really sure, but important that it's 2 millimeter thick, okay? And this is the best really quality. This material, this type, you can also sand it. Now another type, you cannot, for example, use the sandpaper on it. This is the good thing. So if you have a small mistake somewhere that you need to hide, you can easily sand it off. But another cardboard, maybe you cannot, okay? So this is very dense material, dense inside, so that's the good thing about it. They sell them in the normal, like Maktaba, you can find all of these materials. Except this, maybe you need to go to a hardware store to buy it. This exactly you will not find in the Maktaba, because this is for, in the hardware store you will find this, okay? So be careful. What else? The sandpapers, also you will find maybe in the Maktaba, if not in the hardware store, okay? Everything else you should find in the normal store where you buy the art materials. Okay. So, the naming of the materials are here. I will make a photo of these, as I said, and put it on e-learning. Now, let's move on to how do we start making the model, the cardboard model, okay? Today we will talk about this. So, for this, you need to have mainly to use drawing number 2, which is the drawing where you draw the sections. Each one 2 millimeter, between them 5 millimeter. Okay, so this drawing must be completed for this model. So, how do you start? Well, we need to cut the base exactly in this shape from the cardboard. From where this shape we will get? From the bottom view of our drawing. So how do I take this drawing from here, from my paper, and put it on the cardboard? Well, you can use the tracing paper, okay? Put it on top of the drawing, trace it, okay? Then take this tracing paper and using the carbon paper, okay, so this paper on top, this underneath, then here underneath the cardboard, the big cardboard, okay? And you will trace it on the cardboard. After that, you cut it. Very easy, okay? Now, why do we use the yellow carbon paper? Why not the black? Because the black very smudgy, like the line will be black, and if you touch by your hand, it will smudge. This one, the lines are yellow and more clean for the model, okay? So, this is how you trace here from the bottom view. You cut it from the cardboard, and you will end up with this. Then, the second thing is this middle piece here. In the middle, that follows exactly the outline of the real mouse. This, again, you will the same way. Put a tracing paper here, trace the outline, copy it on the cardboard, cut it. Okay? Now, be careful. Once you cut this piece, so you cut this from the, this is now the cardboard piece, okay? Before you glue it, before you do any gluing, draw the lines, okay? So these lines, draw them on here. Maybe not complete, maybe just with dots, like I can put here. So here start, for example, 2 millimeter, here end, then 5 millimeter, then 2 millimeter, 5 millimeter. And best to actually draw the lines, okay? Draw the lines with pencil. Why? Because later, when you start gluing these pieces from the side and these pieces from the side, to know exactly where to put them. Not to put one closer, one far away, one. So you need to know exactly where should I glue these pieces, okay? Where exactly should I glue them, okay? On the actual model. So do not forget to draw the lines on the cut out piece. So you will end up with a piece, and you draw on this piece in the middle, okay, whatever here happening to the mouse. So, after you draw these parts, the bottom piece, you will glue the middle piece exactly in the middle, okay? With what? With Yoo-hoo. I didn't mention this in the materials, but Yoo-hoo will work on this model, because this is paper, okay? Here you can use Yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo, you glue it. So you will have a base, and in the middle, this standing. And lines from this side, lines from the other side. Then, how do we make these pieces here from the side? How do we make? You have to use again your drawing. And let me take another thing here. So, each of these pieces, you will have, for example, you will have a specific number, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, for example, or 10 or 20, I don't know, okay, depending on the size of the mouse. Each piece, for example, this piece here, okay? Let me color it. This piece is, for example, this piece here. Okay. Now, this piece, every piece have a height and have a width, okay? So this I need to measure. This piece, what's the height? What's the height? This piece, okay, what's the height? And draw it on the cardboard. From here to here, from here to here. And this piece, what's the width of it? Okay? I will draw it here. So from here to here is from here to here. And then, so this is, for example, piece number 3. Okay? Because each of these pieces will be different. Each one will have a different height, a different width. Okay? So this is piece number 3. Okay, what is the curve here in piece number 3? Piece number 3, well, from here in this view it will be a little more clear. So, what is the curve of this piece? You will look at this drawing or this drawing here and see how it goes. Is this here straight, or is it a curve like this, or does it go like this and then, for example, become a curve and then go down? We don't know, okay? What is the shape of this curve exactly for this piece? So from this drawing or from this drawing you will find. For example, if it's this one here, it has such a curve, so we have to exactly draw the curve. This piece times 2. Every piece you need to cut times 2. Why? Why? Because we have the same piece from both sides, okay? The same piece here, the same piece here. So every piece you draw, you have to cut 2 times. So, you can draw this on any paper, okay, each of these pieces, and mark them, and then again with the tracing paper, trace it onto the cardboard, or if you can be very clean, draw immediately on the cardboard. So I have the height, I have the width, and just the curve, decide on the curve. And if you make a mistake, you can delete, no big problem. As long as you don't press with the pencil. If you press too much, it will have problems, okay? And each piece you have to mark, like which number is it? Is it piece number 1, for example, or piece number 3, or piece number 2, because each one will have a different size. And when you cut them, when you cut it out of the cardboard, you put this number here, a little bit, 3, 1, okay, so that you don't forget. Because look, if you have a lot of pieces like this, it's more difficult to remember, okay, which of these pieces belong here, which one belong here, which one. So, but if I have a number, okay, number 1 here, number 2 here, number 3 here, it's more easy to remember, okay? So, you draw each of the pieces, you cut each of the pieces from the cardboard. You check each of the pieces before gluing. You check, is the quality good of the line? If you put it here and next to it another piece, is the flow smooth? Not, for example, to have one piece, you make a mistake here in the drawing, and for this reason, when you cut it, it looks kind of very weird. If you see this kind of mistake, change it. Change it. Even if you have to repeat the drawing, repeat. Change while you still have time. Because the final marks for this is with the final submission. So when you submit finally the project, the 2 models and the drawings, then I will put the final marks. Until then, you can change, you can modify, improve, okay? So if you see that it is not a smooth transition, there is obviously something wrong. Look at this quality, it's very good. So we can see a smooth transition. Even when you have a change of shape, it has to be in a smooth, gradual way, because that's how the real mouse is, okay? So be careful of the quality. If you have bad cuts, every piece next to the next one don't fit together, then we have a problem, okay? So make sure the quality is good. Okay. There is one thing here, I just saw it, I forgot to mention it in the materials. This one, okay? You will need that as well. This is what? A paintbrush. It is mentioned in the sheet, but I forgot to mention it. So the paintbrush, you will also need it for the models. Please don't forget to buy it. Now, please, there are different types of paintbrushes, just to mention, okay? Some of them look like this, and some look like this. Okay? What I need is to be the hair to be very smooth. Okay, that's important. But to be of this shape, not of this one. The one I have is of this shape. But to have a better quality for this model, buy a one that is straight. And regarding the size, not to be too big and not to be too small, a medium size. So that when you paint the mouse, if you paint with this one later, it will create lines very easily. But the one that's flat, the quality is better for this kind of project. Okay? So this is what I forgot to mention. Now, regarding the cardboard model, this is, I finished the explanation. If you have any questions to ask me, please ask. Something not clear, something I need to re-explain, ask me now, because you should start with this at home. So from now till next class, when is our next class? Today is Monday?
Wednesday.
On Wednesday, okay, so after 2 days, make sure you have the materials and have at least started with the model. So for example, if you have this piece ready and the middle piece ready, it's already good, okay? And then you can work in the class on these pieces. But you need to have the materials with you and to work in class. I will explain the foam model next time, how to deal with this. And after that, it's a working class, okay? Yes? Yes?
The line down in the middle, the paper, the charcoal down in the middle of the project, where do I get the measurements of it?
The what?
This one.
This?
Yeah, that one should be in the middle of the project, right? Of the model, I mean.
It should be in many places. It should be at the bottom.
Yeah,
It
but
should
how
be
do I
in the,
get the measurement? Yeah, this is the one.
the one in the middle.
Yeah.
From where you get the measurements?
Yeah.
From your drawing. What do you
From the
have
side
here?
of the view?
Yes, this is the front view, I think. This is the front view of the mouse. If you draw your mouse like this is the front view. This is the outline.
Yeah.
If this is the top, this will be the bottom. So most of you draw it like this. If you draw it like this, obviously it was the wrong view to choose.
Yeah.
And I asked you from the beginning to choose either this view or this view, okay, as the front view. So from the front view, this from where you have it? From drawing number 1. Drawing number 1, which was the orthographic drawing, you had exactly the measurement of the real mouse. Huh? The measurements of what? Of the real mouse. Is that clear?
Yes.
Drawing number 1 has the measurements of the real mouse. You copied this drawing to drawing number 2. And then you put the divisions, 2 millimeter, 5 millimeter. So this is the real measurement of the mouse. And you will copy it on the cardboard. So, be careful, students. What I see in the model, so for example, we have a certain curves here, certain measurements. What I see here, I should see in the drawings. So this should be the same like here. The same number of cardboard pieces. The measurements, the curves should be exactly like in your first drawing. So If I see a different mouse here and a different one here, and obviously there is a big mistake in your drawing. So the drawings must now become a model. A simplified model, not a real mouse model. A simplified version, okay? Any other questions? Everything clear? Okay.